Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Sana from Pharmacology Department. Today I will discuss pharmacological management of Parkinsonism and other movement disorders. Movement disorders. Basically, these are abnormal movements and are of various types. These include tremor. Tremors are oscillatory movement around a joint and is best characterized by its relation to activity. They may be either resting tremors, postural tremors, or intentional tremors. Another type of abnormal movement is chorea. Chorea consists of irregular, unpredictable, involuntary muscular jerks that impair voluntary activity. Athetosis is another type of abnormal movements. It consists of slow and breathing movements, especially severe in hands, causing mobile spasms. Dystonia. Dystonia is prolonged muscular contractions with twisting and repetitive movements causing abnormal postures. Tics. Tics are sudden, coordinated, abnormal movements that tend to occur repetitively, particularly about the face and head. Then we come to our main topic, which is Parkinsonism. What is Parkinsonism? Parkinsonism is a neurodegenerative brain disorder which is of idiopathic etiology mostly. I will discuss types of Parkinsonism later on. One type is idiopathic or age-related Parkinsonism, and the other type is caused by drug-induced Parkinsonism. Parkinsonism is characterized by a combination of rigidity, muscular rigidity, bradykinesia, tremors, and postural instabilities. It consists of a variety of other non-motor symptoms which include behavioral, psychological, and autonomic dysfunction. Now we come to pathophysiology of Parkinsonism. Parkinsonism basically involves dysfunction in basal ganglia. Basal ganglia consists of corpus striatum and substantia nigra and nigrostriatal pathways. Naturally occurring Parkinsonism, which commonly occurs with advancing age. Pathologic characteristic involves decrease in the level of striatal dopamine that normally inhibit the activity of striatal GABAergic neurons. This decrease in the level of striatal dopamine leads to excessive excitatory actions of cholinergic neurons on striatal GABAergic neurons. And these postsynaptic dopamine receptors on striatum are of D2 subclass. These are negatively linked to adenylate cyclase. Thus, dopamine and acetylcholine activities are out of balance in Parkinsonism. Now we come to drug-induced Parkinsonism, which is caused by certain drugs, and is mostly reversible when we stop using these drugs. The most important drugs inducing Parkinsonism are butyrophenone and phenothiazine antipsychotic drugs, which are basically D2 receptor antagonists. They block dopamine receptors. Reserpine is another drug which causes Parkinsonism by depleting brain dopamine. MPTP causes irreversible Parkinsonism. Treatment with type B monoamine oxidase inhibitors protects against MPTP induced Parkinsonism. This MPTP, this drug is basically neurotoxic drug. Now we come to pharmacological treatment of Parkinsonism. These are major subclasses of drugs used in treatment of Parkinsonism. Strategies of drug treatment involves increased dopamine activity in the brain, which can be caused either by using dopamine precursors like levodopa or by using dopamine agonists like bromocriptine, pramipixole. Or Parkinsonism can also be treated by decreasing cholinergic activity in the brain. I already said that increased cholinergic activity leads to excessive GABAergic activity in corpus striatum. This can be achieved by use of muscarinic receptor antagonists like benztropine. Parkinsonism can also be treated by using drugs which decrease the metabolism of dopamine, thus increasing dopamine activity in brain. This can be achieved by using monoamine oxidase or catechol O methyl transferase inhibitors. Both these enzymes metabolize dopamine, and inhibition of these enzymes lead to increased dopamine activity and improvement in Parkinsonism symptoms. This diagram shows the mechanism of action of all the drugs which I mentioned earlier used in the treatment of Parkinsonism. Dopamine activity can be increased either by using dopamine precursors like levodopa. Levodopa crosses blood-brain barrier through levo amino acid transporter. Then levodopa is metabolized to by dopa decarboxylase into dopamine. Dopamine acts on the dopamine receptors. Other group of drugs which increases dopamine activity in the brain is dopamine receptor agonists, which may be ergot alkaloids or non-ergot derivatives. Monoamine oxidase inhibitors and COMT inhibitors also decrease metabolism of dopamine and thus decrease symptoms of Parkinsonism. I will discuss these drugs in detail later. First, we will discuss dopamine precursors. Levodopa. Dopamine itself cannot cross blood-brain barrier. Levodopa is immediate precursor of dopamine. It is metabolized by dopa decarboxylase in periphery and in CNS and produces dopamine. Levodopa enters brain through L-amino acid transporter. As levodopa is metabolized by dopa decarboxylase, when we use dopa decarboxylase inhibitor like carbidopa, this carbidopa cannot cross blood-brain barrier. Therefore, it has no central effects. It just inhibits peripheral conversion into dopamine. This is given in combination with carbidopa is given in combination with levodopa. This combination has several benefits, like it increases plasma half-life of levodopa. Thus, lower doses of levodopa are effective, and peripheral side effects of levodopa are diminished. Pharmacokinetics of levodopa. It is rapidly absorbed from the small intestine. Absorption depends on gastric emptying and pH. Ingestion of food delays the presence of levodopa in plasma. Plasma half-life is 1 to 3 hours. Main metabolic products are homovenilic acid and dihydroxyphenol acetic acid. Its metabolites are excreted through urine. 1 to 3% of the given dose reaches the brain. But when we give levodopa in combination with carbidopa, 10% of the dose reaches the brain. This diagram shows fate of orally administered levodopa. When levodopa is used alone, 3% reaches the 30% reaches systemic circulation, and only 1 to 3% reaches brain. But when we use levodopa in combination with carbidopa, 60% reaches the systemic circulation, and out of this 10% reaches the brain to have anti-Parkinsonian effect. Clinical uses of levodopa. Levodopa improves bradykinesia. Mortality from Parkinsonism is also reduced with the use of levodopa. However, this drug does not cure Parkinsonism. Responsiveness fluctuates and gradually decreases with time, which may reflect progression of the disease. More beneficial in the initial years of treatment, and therapeutic effect starts diminishing after 3 to 4 years of treatment. I already said that levodopa is more beneficial when given in combination with carbidopa. Treatment combination is preferably given in low doses, and if symptoms are not controlled, then dopamine agonist is added. Adverse effects of levodopa. Main side effects are GIT side effects. These include anorexia, nausea, vomiting. GIT side effects can be minimized by taking the drug in divided doses. And tolerance to gastrointestinal side effects develops within several months of usage of levodopa. GIT side effects are also reduced when we use combination of levodopa with carbidopa. To reduce GIT side effects, we use it with antacids. And if emesis or vomiting is uncontrolled, domperidone is helpful. But one important point is antiemetics such as phenothiazine should be avoided because they reduce the anti-Parkinsonian effects of levodopa and may exacerbate the disease, as they also block dopamine receptors in brain. Cardiovascular side effects. Main side effect of levodopa is postal hypotension, especially in the early stage of treatment. Other cardiac side effects include tachycardia, ventricular systole, rarely atrial fibrillation or hypertension. Behavioral effects. Behavioral effects are common in patients using levodopa. These include depression, anxiety, agitation, insomnia, somnolence, confusion, delusion, hallucinations, nightmares, euphoria, and other changes in mood or personality, more with carbidopa levodopa combination. Atypical antipsychotics and pimavanserin are helpful in treating behavioral side effects with levodopa. Dyskinesias. Dyskinesias occur in up to 80% of patients using levodopa. Mainly, there is chorioathetosis of face and distal extremities. Lower incidence of dyskinesias occur when levodopa is administered continuously. Amantadine and clozapine helpful in treating levodopa-induced dyskinesias. Response fluctuations. End of dose akinesia or fairing of phenomena is related to timing of levodopa intake. On-off phenomenon is unrelated to time of dose, and off period of marked akinesia alternate over the course of a few hours with on periods of improved mobility but often marked dyskinesia. This on-off phenomena is improved with apomorphine. Drug holidays. Drug holidays are discontinuance of the drug for 3 to 21 days. It may temporarily improve responsiveness to levodopa and alleviate some of its adverse effects, but is usually of little help in the management of response fluctuations. Drug interactions. Pyridoxine enhances the extracerebral metabolism of levodopa. Should not be given to patients taking monoamine oxidase A inhibitors as it leads to hypertensive crisis. Contraindications. Contraindications to levodopa include psychosis, angle-closure glaucoma, risk of cardiac arrhythmias, given with caution in active peptic ulcers, may activate malignant melanoma, should be given with particular care in patients with any skin malignancy risk or history. Next group of drugs which we use in the treatment of Parkinsonism is dopamine agonists, which include ergot derivatives like bromocriptine and pergolide, and non-ergot derivatives, which includes ropinirole, pramipexole, and apomorphine. Dopamine agonists have limited adverse effects as compared to dopamine precursors. Secondly, these do not require enzymatic activation. Neither they compete with other drugs for absorption. Dopamine agonists are important drugs as first-line therapy for Parkinson's disease. Their adverse effects resemble levodopa. Now we discuss these dopamine agonists one by one. Bromocriptine. Bromocriptine is a D2 receptor agonist. Its adverse effects include anorexia, nausea, vomiting, dyskinesis, postal hypotension, and behavioral side effects. Ergot-related side effects include erythromelalgia and pulmonary infiltrates. Use in Parkinsonism has been superseded by newer drugs. Pergolide is a D1 and D2 agonist associated with the development of valvular heart disease. Therefore, it is less commonly used. Non-ergot derivatives. These include pramipexole. It has affinity for the D3 family of receptors. It is effective as monotherapy for mild Parkinsonism, permitting the dose of levodopa to be reduced and smoothing out response fluctuations when used in combination with levodopa. Pramipexole has somehow neuroprotective effect as well, as it has the ability to scavenge hydrogen peroxide. It is rapidly absorbed and excreted largely unchanged in urine. Renal insufficiency requires dosage adjustment. Adverse effects include nausea, vomiting, postal hypotension, and dyskinesis. Mental disturbances like confusion, hallucination, and impulsive behavior is common. Contraindicated in patients with active peptic ulcer, recent MI, or psychotic illness. Ropinirole. Pure D2 receptor agonist. It is effective as monotherapy as well. It is metabolized by CYP1A2 enzyme. And other drug metabolized by this isoform of enzyme may reduce its clearance, like caffeine and warfarin. Adverse effects and contraindications are similar to pramipexole. Apomorphine interacts with postsynaptic D2 receptors in the caudate nucleus and putamen. Effective for the treatment of periods of akinesia in patients on optimized dopaminergic therapy. It is given by subcutaneous injection. Its onset of action is 10 minutes, and supine and standing blood pressure should be monitored before injection and then after every 20 minutes for an hour after it. There is troublesome nausea with the use of apomorphine. This can be avoided by pre-treatment with trimethopenzamide antiemetic drug. Other adverse effects include dyskinesias, drowsiness, insomnia, chest pain, sweating, hypotension, syncope, constipation, diarrhea, mental or behavioral disturbances, and bruising at injection site. It is contraindicated in patients who are using serotonin antagonists. Apomorphine is mainly used as rescue therapy in the management of off periods of akinesia which was induced by levodopa. Monoamine oxidase inhibitors. This enzyme, monoamine oxidase, metabolizes dopamine. This is present both in central nervous system. This converts dopamine into dihydroxyphenol acetic acid. Monoamine oxidase inhibitors include salicylic and resalicylic. Salicylic is a selective, irreversible inhibitor of monoamine oxidase type B. It prolongs the anti-Parkinsonian effect of levodopa. Minor therapeutic effect on Parkinsonism when given alone. Hepatic metabolism of salicylic results in the formation of desmethyl salicylic, which is possibly neuroprotective, and amphetamine. Salicylic has minimal efficacy in Parkinsonism if given alone, but it is mostly used in adjacent with levodopa as adjunct. Resalicylic is more potent than salicylic in preventing MPTP-induced Parkinsonism. Used for early treatment in patients with mild symptoms. Precautions. Adverse effects include mood changes, insomnia, and hypotension. Should not be taken by patients receiving meperidine, tramadol, methadone, propoxyphene, cyclobenzaprine. Antidepressive dextromethorphan should also be avoided. Over the counter cold preparations therefore should be avoided along with monoamine oxidase inhibitors, and it should not be given with other MAO inhibitors causing drugs. Used with care in patients receiving tricyclic antidepressants or serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Along with SSRIs, when given, it causes serotonin syndrome. Another enzyme which metabolizes dopamine is COMT, catechol O methyl transferase enzyme. This enzyme is present in both CNS and peripheral tissues. It converts levodopa to 3O methyl dopa. Thus, it leads to increased level of 3O methyl dopa. This metabolite competes with levodopa for active transport into CNS. These COMT inhibitors are tolcapone and entacapone. Entacapone is preferred because it has no hepatotoxicity and it does not cross blood-brain barrier. It has only peripheral effects. Used as adjuncts to levodopa, carbidopa, decreasing fluctuations, improving response, and prolonging on time. Tolcapone is more potent. Stalevo is a fixed combination of levodopa with carbidopa and entacapone. Adverse effects include diarrhea, abdominal pain, orthostatic hypotension, sleep disturbances. Entacapone also causes orange discoloration of the urine. Tolcapone causes liver toxicity, and liver enzymes should be measured frequently during usage of this drug. Other adverse effects are related to increased level of levodopa. Amantadine is basically it is an antiviral drug. It is an antagonist of the NMDA type glutamate receptor, suggesting an anti-dyskinetic effect. It may potentiate dopaminergic function by influencing the synthesis, release, or reuptake of dopamine. Pharmacokinetics, it is given orally, half-life is 2 to 4 hours, and it is excreted unchanged in urine. Clinical uses. It may favorably influence the bradykinesia, rigidity, and tremor of Parkinsonism. Amantadine may also help in reducing iatrogenic dyskinesias in patients with advanced disease. Adverse effects include undesirable CNS effects, restlessness, depression, irritability, insomnia, agitation, excitement, hallucination, and confusion. Acute toxic psychosis can also be caused by this drug. Livedo reticularis is a skin condition, dermatologic reaction which is caused by use of amantadine. Other side effects include headache, heart failure, peripheral edema, postal hypotension, urinary retention, gastrointestinal disturbances, etc. It should be used with in patients. It should be used with caution in patients with history of seizures or heart failure. Next group of drugs which are used in the treatment of Parkinsonism are anti-muscarinic drugs. These include benztropine, bipredin, orphanedrine. They decrease the excitatory actions of cholinergic neurons on cells in the corpus striatum. These drugs improve tremor and rigidity but have little effect on bradykinesia. Used as adjunct therapy in Parkinsonism and to reduce extrapyramidal symptoms caused by antipsychotic drugs. CNS toxicity includes confusion, delusion, hallucination, exacerbation of tardive dyskinesias, and atropine-like side effects. Now we come to treatment of other movement disorders. Tremors. Physiological and essential tremors are clinically similar conditions characterized by postural tremor. Tremors may be accentuated by anxiety, fatigue, certain drugs like bronchodilators, tricyclic antidepressants, and lithium. Tremors can be relieved by beta 2 receptor antagonists like propranolol, and metoprolol can also be used. Drugs potentiating GABA A receptors in the central nervous system, such as phenobarbital, primidone, topiramate, and benzodiazepines, also improve tremor. Anti-epileptic drugs such as topiramate, alprazolam, gabapentin, primidone are frequently used in the treatment of tremors. Intramuscular injection of botulinum toxin have been used to treat essential tremor. Next is movement disorders. Huntington's disease. Basically, in Huntington's disease, there is degeneration of GABAergic neurons in the corpus striatum. Huntington's disease is an autosomal dominant inherited disorder. Huntington's disease is characterized by progressive chorea and dementia that usually begins in adulthood. There is imbalance of dopamine, acetylcholine, GABA, and perhaps other neurotransmitters in the basal ganglia. GABA functions are diminished and dopaminergic functions are enhanced. There may also be a cholinergic deficit in patients with Huntington's disease. To treat Huntington's disease, we use drugs that impair dopaminergic transmission, either by depleting central monoamines, reserpine, tetrabenzazine, or by blocking dopamine receptors like phenothiazines, butyrophenones. They often alleviate chorea, whereas dopamine-like drugs such as levodopa tend to exacerbate it. I already said that in Huntington's disease, both GABA and the enzymes glutamic acid decarboxylase concerned with the synthesis of GABA are reduced. There is degeneration of the GABAergic neurons. Drugs used are tetrabenazine, haloperidol, flufenazine, olanzapine. Drug-induced dyskinesias. Reversible Parkinsonism caused by antipsychotic agents due to D2 receptor antagonist use. This can be treated by use of antimuscarinic agents. Acute dystonias can be treated by parenteral administration of benztropine or diphenhydramine. Tardive dyskinesias, which are degeneration, supersensitivity with prolonged use of older antipsychotics. They do not have any specific drug therapy. Restless leg syndrome. Restless leg syndrome is characterized by an unpleasant creeping discomfort that seems to arise deep within the legs. Symptoms may resolve with correction of coexisting iron deficiency anemia and often respond to dopamine agonists, levodopa, diazepam, clonazepam, gabapentin, or opioids. Wilson's disease. It is characterized by hepatoventricular degeneration due to excessive accumulation of copper. D-penicillamine and tyrantine can be used as a copper chelating agent, but it can cause lupus-like syndrome, optic neuritis, and blood dyscheresis. Thank you.